Okay, let us go to part 8. Part you will see about energy efficiency regarding energy production. So in Malaysia, the electric supply industry in Malaysia was privatized in 1990, and there are three main utilities in the country: Tenaga Nasional (TNB) Berhad. Tenaga Nasional Berhad (TNB) is in Peninsular Malaysia. And then in Sabah, we have Sabah Electricity Sdn Berhad (SESB), and Sarawak, we have Sarawak Electrical Supply Corporation (SESCO). So the power demand in the year 2000 is about 10,000 megawatt, met the total generation capacity of the power generated was 13,280 megawatt. This is in year 2000. So most of this electricity generation, about 5,090 or 38%, is contributed by 13 independent power producers. Like what I said just now, IPP lah. Dia ni yang membekalkan tenaga elektrik kepada TNB. But usually these IPPs, they will use renewable energy, hydro, solar, and others. And at the end of year 2003, power generation capacity total was about 19.3 gigawatt, and 23% jump from available energy in the previous year. So the consumption is increasing, and much of the production, which is 92%, is in Peninsular Malaysia by TNB. With Sarawak and Sabah only account for 4% each. So this peak demand in Peninsular Malaysia was 11,329 megawatt, and with just over 1,000 megawatt for both Sabah and Sarawak. So you can see here that Peninsular Malaysia is using more energy than Sabah Sarawak. This one due to industri di Semenanjung Malaysia ni lebih banyak. Okay, this is the latest, in 2017 punya data. Kalau tahun 1996, power generation in Malaysia ialah 50,280 gigawatt, and year 2016 it was already increased to 156,000 gigawatt. So kenaikan sebanyak 210,000 in about 20 years saja. Dan 20 years kita dah naik begitu tinggi penggunaan tenaga. And if you see here, gas is the main, natural gas is the main source. But nowadays lebih banyak kepada coal. Sebab di Malaysia we have one policy that we don't want to rely on one source only. So they are dividing one to gas, natural gas, and one to coal punya power generation. And one good news is that hydropower has increased to about 13,000 from water power generation in. And investment in power energy production have already continued, and the government is expecting about 9.7 billion US dollar needed for electricity utility sector in 2010. So now it's more lah. We already come to 2020. So to help reduce reliance on natural gas power generation, the goal is to increase the share of coal electricity generation. So that's why coal have been increased about 30% in 2006. Okay, there are 6 independent power producers, or the IPPs, that generated about 35% of the total grid connected capacity. In 2001, the total grid connected capacity is 12,600 megawatt. And this one providing TNB is providing the remainder in Peninsular Malaysia, and Sabah 38% with 790 megawatt came from 5 IPPs, and chap 2 IPP in Sarawak produce about 320 megawatt. This one mostly generated by hydro by Bakun Dam. But in Sarawak, they only produce about 880 megawatt by SESCO. So IPPs in Sarawak is quite active. They produce more energy compared to Peninsular Malaysia, only 35%. Okay, the main user is the manufacturing sector. They are the pivotal role to play in energy management in Malaysia. So they are the main sector that have to do and have to make or have to implement energy management. They are the largest consumer in energy. Inefficient use and waste accelerate the depletion of fossil fuel reserve and weakens the national energy balance. Kalau manufacturing sector tak berhati-hati dengan penggunaan tenaga mereka, dia akan buat national punya energy balance become not good. So for every unit energy wasted, is actually taxpayers is indirectly burned. Our money is indirectly burned, because when they waste, means that more and more government subsidies is being wasted. However, the rise in global energy costs now make energy efficiency prime option to avoid energy from price and then from increasing. So energy management is important to avoid the price increase of energy costs. Under Vision 2020, the industrial is set to become the leading engine of economic growth. So Malaysia is also on the path toward becoming net importer of energy. So kalau kita punya industrial sector become more and more bigger, so we might have to import energy from outside the country. And so far, the cushion of government subsidies has created a safety net for energy consumers. And for Malaysian manufacturers, there is no better in time to start integrating energy management measures as part of good practices to bolster production and energy saving. So manufacturing sector, industry sector have to play their roles to use energy as efficient as possible.